everybody, and welcome back to Crochet Infusion. Today I want to show you how I make my little plant pot cover. I decided to do this in the blue DK yarn and in the white DK yarn. Basically this is just something that I decided I wanted to do because I've got this lovely new little plant and I want to give it a nice little cover to match my living room. So I've gone with the colours of my living room, which is the blue, navy blue and the white. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. This is the first time I've actually done a cover for a plant pot. So we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. I'm sure it will turn out okay. So grab some yarn and your scissors, tapestry needle, your crochet hook. I'm using a 4mm crochet hook, and my plant pot measures about 5 inches in diameter, so you want to measure side to side of your plant pot. It's impossible to try and measure it around the plant pot, so just literally side by side of the dimensions of your plant pot, which mine comes up to 5 inches. So to begin, I want to start by making a magic ring. So to do your magic ring, I'm going to go over this quite slow because not everybody can do magic rings and they are kind of tricky to begin with when you start doing them. But the more times you do the magic rings, the easier they do become. So I hold my yarn over these 2 fingers and I just twist my hand around and then I put the yarn over. First, makes like an X, and then my little finger holds it in place. And then pick up your hook. You're going to go through the first part of the yarn and then bring out the second piece of the yarn so it goes underneath. And then you've got the loop over your hook. You want to pull that through so it kind of like makes a nice little tie to secure it in place. Yarn over your hook, and we're going to do 12 double crochets into this ring. So yarn over and pull your yarn through, and you're going to pull through 2 loops and then pull through 2, so that's 1, and then again, and that's 2, and then 3, sometimes that tail can get in your way a little bit, so just slide it across slightly, and just keep working your double crochets in your ring until you have 12, and then I will meet you back and show you what you need to do next. Okay, so now you should have 12 double crochets in your ring. So you're going to take your tail, which is this shorter piece, and you just want to pull that and just keep pulling until it forms a circle, and that has now made your magic circle, magic ring. And you're going to slip stitch into that very first chain and pull that across, and then just keep pulling that till it's closed in the center at the back here. So you just pull that tight and then that closes the center, slip stitch at the top and chain 1 and then chain 2. So you want to chain 2 on this one because you're going to do double crochets. Now usually when you're doing double crochets, normally you would chain 3, but I actually like to chain 2 working on my rounds. It just makes my work come out a little bit more neater, I think, but that is entirely up to you, it's personal preference. So to begin, I'm now going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch around. So far we've got 12, so by the time we've done 2 in each, we're now then going to have 24, so we're doubling up our stitches. So to begin, you're going to go into this first chain space here, and you're going to go straight in with 2, and then you're going to go into the next. I'm going to do another 2 in there, and then into the next, work another 2, and then another 2, and you're just going to keep working your 2 double crochets in each stitch around, and then when I get to the end of here I will be back. Okay, so I'm just coming up to the end now. I'm just going to put the last 2 double crochets into this last space here, and you should then have a total of 24 stitches. And if you notice as you're working around, your centre sometimes comes a bit loose, and some people don't really like that. I'm one of those people that doesn't like that, so I have to just keep pulling my tail to close that in, so it makes it close it all. And then you're going to see on the side here where you chained 2 on the previous round, so you're just going to count 2, and then you're going to do a slip stitch into there, and then you're going to chain 2 again, yarn over. So on this next round we now need to work this up to 36 stitches. So to do that we're going to do a 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochets into the same chain space, and then 1 double crochet on its own, and then 2 into the second, and by the end of that round we should have 36 chains. And the way I count mine is I just turn it slightly towards me and I can see my chains going around all the way around, and just count those. And if you do feel you've made a mistake, it's always just easier and less time consuming just to undo, unpick where you think you've gone wrong and just start it again from where you think you've gone wrong. Because believe me, I have many times I have just gone, oh, it'll be okay, I'm 1 stitch down, I think I'll just add another one here, and it doesn't pay off at all. So that's just a little tip. You don't have to, but that's what I do. Okay, so just 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochets all the way around in that pattern until we get near the end, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I'm just coming up now to the last 2 of my double crochets into this last stitch. So you should finish on 2 double crochets, and then you're going to go to your chain 2, so 1 and 2, and you're just going to do a slip stitch into there. And then once you've done your slip stitch, once again you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to work 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2, and then that is going to increase your round up to 48 stitches, and you just repeat that pattern all the way around. So that's 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet onto that next space, and then it's going to be 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet into that same chain space, and you just keep working like this all the way around, and you should have a stitch count of 48 at the end of that round. and I will meet you back up when I get back to here, and then I will show you what you need to do next. Okay, so now I've just got the last 2 more double crochets to go on this round. So that's 1 and then 2. And now I'm just going to slip stitch into the second chain from the first round that we did, and then chain 2. And then for this next round, you're now going to do the same again, except for you're going to do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 in the same stitch. So it's just building up around and just repeating that pattern all the way around. So it's going to be 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 2 double crochet, and then 3 double crochet, and then it's 2 double crochet into that same stitch. And you just want to repeat this pattern all the way around, and then I will meet you back up, and you should have a stitch count of 60, and I will see you again in a moment. Okay, so I'm just coming up to the end of this round now, and I'm just going to put my last 2 double crochets into the last stitch. So that's 1 and then 2. And then from my chain of 2, I'm going to do a slip stitch into the second top of that chain, and do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2. And now for this round, we're now going to do 4 double crochets in the next 4 stitches, and then 2. So this should be technically our last round for our increasing. So yarn over, go into the next stitch and do a double crochet, into the next, another double crochet, into the next, another double crochet, and into the next, another double crochet, and then do 2 double crochets into that 4th stitch along. So you've got 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 on the 5th stitch, and just keep working in that pattern, going all the way around till you reach to the end here, and I will meet you back up when I'm on my last stitch. Okay, so I'm just coming up to the end now on this last round, and I'm just going to put another last two double crochets into that last stitch, and you should have a total of stitches of 72. And this does work out to be slightly over 5 inches. So if you need yours to be a little bit smaller, you may want to either change hook sizes or whichever it is for the size that you need. But this should still just fit, because I did measure it a little bit smaller than what I needed, because I had a rough idea it was going to work out a little bit bigger than I was going to need, so I was quite happy with how wide this is going to be. So this is just over 5 inches, so it's about 5.5 inches, which is pretty much perfect for what I need it for my plant pot. So for the next round, what I want to do now, because we've got 72 stitches in a round, so now I want to chain 1, and I'm just going to work single crochets keeping a stitch count of 72 stitches. So I'm going to go straight into the first stitch, just chain 1 and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. When we get to this point here, you might want to use a stitch marker in case you miss off where you were to begin. But if you don't have a stitch marker, you could just use maybe a little piece of yarn or something, or a paper clip or something like that, just so you can remember where you start before you begin your next round as you're working in rounds. And I will meet you back when we get back round here, and then we'll go on again to the next round, and I will then just keep continuing on the rounds that I need, because now I'm going to be working on the height of the plant pot, of how high I want my rounds to be, but I'm not sure at the moment how many rounds that's going to take. So when I get so far, I will come back and let you know how many rounds I've done, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I've just now finished my round of 72 in the single crochet, nearly. I've just got one more single crochet to go into that last stitch, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch. And now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. And I'm going to continue on now of doing 1 single crochet all the way around, keeping a stitch count of 72 stitches, slip stitching, chain 1, and then continuing on and on until I reach to a point where I need to stop. And I will let you know how many rounds I did for my plant pot. Depending on the size of your plant pot, on the height of your plant pot, will determine on how many stitches you will need to do. So you will maybe want to measure your plant pot and try and get to the closest possible measurement you can for the height for your plant pot. So the reason why I've changed 1 and turned, I'm now going to work with my tail from the magic ring that we did, have that on the inside, is so on the outside, sorry, is so when we're working around, because this will start to lift and curl as we work around, but I want mine to curl the other way, so it will start to curl this way rather than this way. So that's just me. So I'm just going to carry on continuing now, doing 1 single crochet in a round, slip stitch join, chain 1. You may want to use stitch counters to ensure that you don't go over your stitches and then think you may be adding extra stitches in on accident, but by keep counting your stitches as well as a really good tip to keep ensure that your stitches are correct at every time when you go around. So I will meet you back when I'm nearly at the end of doing my rounds of single crochet, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm just coming to the end now, and I've done 20 rows, so this is the last row of my single crochet for my plant pot cover. So I'm just going to finish these last few stitches, and then I can then check to see if it fits my plant pot. I'm just going to slip stitch on that last stitch. I'm not going to cut anything just yet, because I just want to check that my plant pot fits in my cover. And yes, it does. There we go. So my plant pot cover fits nicely around here, and now we're going to start on doing the outside in the white, which will be the same as how we did the beginning. So I'm just going to go over that with you again, how we did the base, and then I will show you what we need to do after that. So to begin, I'm going to start with using my white yarn, and we're going to do a magic ring of 12 double crochets. So to do the magic ring, you want to put your yarn over your two fingers and pull it across to over here, so your little finger is holding on. Hold your hook, and then chain 1, and then you're going to do 12 double crochets into your magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, and then just keep going around doing your double crochets into your ring for 12 times, and then I will catch you once you've done that, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so I've now got 12 double crochets in my ring, and now I'm going to get the tail end and close that ring, and then do a slip stitch to join your round together, and then just pull that centre tight, like so. And now you want to chain 2, yarn over, into the next stitch you're going to do 2 double crochets, and you're going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch around, exactly the same as we did before. And then that will give us a total of 24 stitches. So keep doing your 2 double crochets in each stitch around, and then I'll meet you back up. Okay, so now you should have 24 stitches going around. You're now going to go to the second chain from the chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to do a slip stitch and join that round together, and then chain 2, and then you're going to do 1 double crochet in the next chain space, then you're going to do 2 double crochet in that same chain space, and then 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet in the same chain space, and you just keep repeating that all the way around, and then I will be back to show you what you need to do next. Okay, so you should now have a total of 36 stitches going in around, and then you're going to slip stitch, join that round, and then chain 2, and then you're going to do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet into the same chain space, and you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around just like we did last time until you get back to the end, and then we'll slip stitch, and then I will tell you what we do next. Okay, so I'm just nearly finished on this round. I'm just going to put another 2 double crochets into that last stitch, and then joining my round, and you should now have a total of 48 stitches going in around. And then for the next round you're going to do chain 2, and then 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and then 3 double crochet, and then 2 into that same stitch, and you're just going to repeat that till you get to the end of this round. So it's 1, 2, 3 on their own, 1, 2, 3 on their own, and then 2 in the same chain space all the way around till you get back to the beginning. And then I'll show you what you need to do next. Okay, so you should now have 60 stitches in a round, and slip stitch when you get to the end of that round. And then you're going to do the same again to work up 72 stitches. So you're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 4 chain spaces, and then you're going to do a 2 double crochet on 1 stitch on its own, and you're just going to work that pattern till you get to the end, and then I will meet you back when you have got to the end of there. So that's 72 stitches. Okay, so I'm just at the last of my round now, so I've now got 72 stitches all the way around. I'm just going to slip stitch my round together, going to chain 1 and then turn. So now we're facing the back. So now what you want to do, we're going to start the pattern now for the outer side for the plant pot, and I'm going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm going to count 4 stitches along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into that 4th chain, do a single crochet, and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet, and you're just going to keep doing that all the way around till you get to the end here, and then I will be back and show you what you need to do next. Okay, so now you're at the end. I've just got my last chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, and I'm just going to go into that very first stitch and do a single crochet, and then I am just going to go through this first loop with another single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I'm just going to go straight through into the next loop and then do another 5. Well, single crochet, then 5, 4 and 5, and then into the next chain, single crochet, and then chain 5, going through into the next loop, single crochet and chain 5, and you're just going to keep repeating that all the way around. And if you keep joining it the same way as we already have done, it should line up quite nicely as you're going up with it. So you need to do it to the height of your plant pot, and then I will be back and let you know how many rounds I did. Just to quickly show you, I've just made it back round on my second round, and you've got your chain of 5. You want to just go through this loop here from the top of that single crochet you did, and then chain 5, and then go into the next loop and do your single crochet and then chain 5 again, and just continue on going around. So every time you get to here, you're going to put your single crochet at the top of that single crochet and it's just going to build up, and then doing your chain of 5, 1 single crochet on each one of your loops, your chain of 5 loops, and it kind of makes a nice lovely, almost like a trellis type pattern. So just keep going around until you get to the height that you are desiring to get. Okay, so now I've finished now with the white, and it's like a mesh, and I've put the single crochet first one inside the mesh over. So now we're just going to finish off the top and from the previous. So you want your blue, and you're going to go through that chain that we've got from the previous row on the white, and go straight through the 2 loops at the top of your single crochet. You're going to pull that through and then do a single crochet and then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then count 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4, going through the white loop and then through the 4th chain around the edge of your single crochet of the blue, and you're going to make another single crochet and then chain 5. And then 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you're going to go through the chain and then do another single crochet, and that will then hold your plant pot holder in place with this white mesh. So just keep working like this, going all the way around until you get to the end, and then I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm just at the end now, and I've just finished. I've put my last 4 onto there, but it looks like I've gone a little bit over. So I'm just going to insert my hook through this bottom hole here, through that single crochet, and I'm just then going to tie off on here, and then get my scissors and just simply cut your yarn and tie off, and then you can sew your ends in once you are finished, and that is the finished plant pot holder or plant pot cover. And it just needs obviously the end sewn in. I'm just going to test out my plant and check it all fits in there nicely, like so. And you might have to just wiggle it around a little bit to make sure it's in nicely. And there is a plant pot cover for your plant. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope to be back soon with some more nice tutorial projects. And thank you all so much for all your views and likes and things like that, and you can subscribe as well, and I'll be updating new projects as soon as I possibly can. I do like to try and do them every week, but it's not always possible. Sometimes things just get in the way, but I do my best to try and get new tutorials out to you every Friday if possible. But once again, thank you all again so much for joining me, and I will be back soon with some more projects. Thank you all. Bye.